Hello, this is a how to do a repeating pattern on a piece of paper. So you can take these same principles and apply them to digital technology. You can also, if you are very precise, do this on a piece of paper and then image trace it on Illustrator, and then there you go, you have a repeating pattern. So but same principles, and I am going to be a hair more precise because I do have this grid and my rulers to help me with measuring. So first thing I need to do is I need to figure out my paper size and mark my middle. I'm going to find my middles and draw a line with the pencil. You could also carefully fold. Traditionally, that's what I've done. For less precision, fold and cut with scissors, much faster. For actual precision, use a ruler. I have quilting rulers here, so which have a lovely grid on them that make measurement super duper quick. All right, so I have, this is a 4 1/4. And then the hard part here is going to be measuring when I need to clean off my desk. And then it's about 5.5. It's a little over 5.5. I'm going to, let me just try and trim off that excess. Make my life easier. Let's see. No, that is. It's less than 5.5. I can do, if I do 5 1/4, that'll be easier. We're going to do 5 1/4. And I'm going to trim off this excess to make it easier to divide in half. So what I like for a precision cut is, this is called a rotary cutter. It is a quilting tool or a sewing tool that have very sharp round blades that spin like a pizza cutter. And when you work with both paper and fabric, when your fabric blades get dull, you can use them on paper. And I shifted my flipping ruler like a genius. Damn it. Yeah. And I'm so bad at precision. So if you're not great at precision, that's where doing this on the computer helps a bunch. So half of 5 is 2.5, and then half of 1/4 is 1/8. So I'm going to have 2.5, which is here, and 1/8, which is there. And it helps if you're actually on the line and you don't have stuff in the way of your ruler. I might switch rulers. I'm going to switch rulers. I kind of hate this ruler. All right. I'm not going to use this ruler. This ruler screws with the mind. Go back to my other ruler, my Friskers ruler. All right, let's so I like to mark 3 times. So 1, 2, this is quarter, or this is an eighth, this is a quarter. So this would be half, so this would be 5/8. And one more time. And connect my dots. I'm going to leave in my oopsies because I feel like it's important for you all to see that mistakes always happen, right? So there I have that line. So now rotating my paper to do 4, half of 4 and 1/4. So that is 2. And an eighth. So why are we dividing our paper into quarters? Because we are going to be cutting on these lines and rotating them in a specific order. So now I'm going to label 1, 2, 3, 4. This is going to help me know in my rotation order which rotation I'm on. So I've done this a lot. And for me, this is secondhand, like it just comes to me like snap. So this is going to look easier than your first time. Your first time, you'll make mistakes. It'll be like, what the heck are you wanting me to do here? And that's okay. All right. So like, don't. So I want to fill in my negative space here. And I'm thinking of size, I'm thinking of interaction of shapes. I'm thinking, do I want this to be directional? If I want this to be directional, then I'll want all my shapes to go in one direction. If I don't, I need to rotate while I doodle. And vary scale as well. I think so far they're all the same scale, especially if I don't want an obvious repeat. If you want a very quick to find repeat, that's great too. I know myself, I like this like, can I fool the viewer's eye? Playing with repeat. Kitty. Do I want anything else here? I think we'll go over here. So I'm thinking about flow and composition, just like any other artwork. So here I have a focal point and it's flowing around. Right now I'm not worried about color. That can come later. And color can adjust our focal points. So now I'm going to cut down my, so if it's this way, my horizontal line. If it's this way, my vertical line. I'm cutting between 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So I'm going to take my ruler, carefully align. Holding my hand flat in hopes that I don't. This is also easier when you don't have a camera set up. And that was slightly off. So now I'm going to put my 1 and 2 on the bottom and 3 and 4 on the top. I'm going to erase this inch marking just because I don't want any other numbers to confuse. So I'm going to flip these over. Take your time to align. Taking your time on this part will help ensure you have a more accurate printing alignment. Just taking some tape here. I'm just going to make it a little less sticky real quick. If you're not sure how to make tape less sticky, put it on your clothes. Let it get extra fiber from your clothing. And now, all right, I'm actually going to adjust. So here I can see my center line is not perfect. So I have a choice I need to make to either line using my center line or line using my edges of the paper. I'm going to go with the edges of the paper. It's because I was trying to be precise. So, all right. This, I'll have to decide how I'm going to cut the center line. But that's a problem for future me. And just because this paper is curled, so the size of your paper or the size of your board, if your art board, will determine the size of your motif, your repeat. Let's see, I think I want this to connect, but I also want, and maybe I'll put a kitten blob here. And I don't like, I think I would get rid of the mouth. I think I like it simpler, like that. I don't like how close that is. So I suggest using pencil instead of pen. I'm using pen for ease of seeing. On screen. And then I think that's good there. So now I need to cut down this line, and I'm going to have to decide which one's my center point, because that is way off. So I think I'm just going to kind of go in between both. And I'm using the grid on my ruler to make sure at least this bottom line is square. Maybe I need to stick with folding and cut with scissors. Oop. I did not press hard enough. So I'm just going in with my scissors. So now I want to put my negative space together. So I'm just going to take 3 and 1 that were on the inside. Now I'll have it on the outer edges, 3 and 1, and on my, for me, it's on my left-hand side. It could go either way. Okay. And then 2 and 4 on the outer corners. Outer corners are my numbers. Evens together, odds together. In the center, negative space. And then I'm going to tape it together. And start to fill in this negative space. I'm avoiding the edges because I have one more rotation that will fill that in. So I'm going to put yeah, I like that more. Cat blob. Other blobs. Let's rotate. Seed. I think I will put think I just like the eyes because it's a little more abstract and they kind of read like Totoro's as well. All right, so I'm going to flip my last rotation where I will bring these two edges together. So I could tape I can cut my tape or I can untape. Let's see what's going to be easier. Oh, untaping works because it's still fresh. Now my numbers are still on the outside. My evens are still together. My odds are still together. See how this shape realigns and this little cat guy is realigning? That's what we want to see. And then I'll flip this over. And tape it into place. And then fill in this negative space. So why would you want to do this by hand? One benefit is you have a little more control on manipulating the negative space. I need to put a big guy over here. You have one benefit of silk screening or printing off of a that's not digital is you have more control on overlapping various scales of motifs that don't necessarily align. So like if I did different motifs using the same aspect ratio, where let's say I did a full sheet of letter paper and then a half sheet, I could still have those overlap and be printed off digitally. I would have like this repeat twice to match up the full letter size piece of paper. An example. So that's one benefit of like that could easily be done. All right. So now I have my pattern. So theoretically, if I'm going to untape these, this will all fit back together, no problemo. And that's how you check. The benefit of doing this digitally is you can check it so much faster. You can you have more precision with cutting the board. Like you don't necessarily have like this type of human error. So here 1 and 2 fitting together. That's 4 would snug back up here. Yep. And 3 would snug back up here. So if you draw as you cut your art, like as you rotate your image, you have more control with your negative space. If you have pre-made motifs that you're filling in, you can still manipulate your negative space by adjusting their scale. But you won't necessarily be able to have like a continuous line. So I could have had a continuous line that radiated out, continuous lines that radiated out from the center, cut, shifted, continued that continuous line, and did that. So it all connects. So that's the benefit of like drawing as you rotate, really. And those of us who like to draw by hand, like I said, I could scan this in, tape it all back up together, scan it in, image trace, and my pattern's set to go. So main thing is I just wanted you to see the process and how we've been doing this before computers. So humans have been making patterns forever. And I know myself am super addicted to it. So yeah, I will. Anyway, good luck, have fun. Don't forget you're still using your principles and elements of art and your principles of good design and oh my gosh, composition. I'm sorry, I could not think of the word. So how's your eye flowing around that pattern? There's still a flow, there's still these don't line up. What number is that? 1, 2. No, that's not 1. That's 4. There's still focal points. Where's your focal point? Where are your areas of rest? So like there would be a focal point or there would be a focal point. So yeah, don't forget that. Okay, I'm done rambling. Bye.